Hello, Internet. Magicman here with another 5-minute review. Want to thank you for just about hitting 300 subscribers. I appreciate that. If you like what you see here on 5-Minute Review, please click like, subscribe, and comment, obviously. 5-Minute Reviews, I don't give you a 1 through 10. I play a game for a couple of hours. Tell you I love it. I gotta keep playing it right now. I like it. I'll play it, but maybe not right now, or I am never playing this damn game again. This one's by viewer request, a bit of an older game, relatively speaking. Darksiders by Vigil and the now defunct THQ. So, what is Darksiders? And I do have the sequel, but I've never actually played it. It's just sitting on my computer. So, if somebody wants to see that one, throw it in the comments below. I'll give it a whirl for a 5-minute review. Also, if you have a game you want to see, doesn't matter how old it is, what console, what payment model, doesn't matter. Throw it in the comments. If I have access to it from my collection or I can get it, I'll do it. Check out the Atari one we already did. So what is Darksiders? Well, you play War, who's one of the 4 Horsemen, and all hell has broken loose. The war between the 3 kingdoms, Heaven, Earth, and the Kingdom of Man, has started, even though the 7th seals weren't technically broken. So there's a bit of confusion. War gets summoned down to start kicking ass in his demon form, and all of a sudden he gets blamed for this whole thing happening, and a covenant being broken, and man being, well, basically screwed. So, gameplay style, you're going to take a little bit of God of War action, a little bit of Zelda-esque. I've heard a lot of people compare this game to Zelda. I think that's fair in the respect that you have dungeons where there is a fair amount of puzzle solving going on. And by dungeons, I mean isolated little areas of interest. You're inside a temple, things like that. There are some interesting mechanics, so like I said, gather God of War, a little bit of Zelda, and then throw in a bunch of Seventh Seal in there. You've got pretty much the mix for Darksiders here. Graphics, not too bad even looking at it from today's current standards. There are interesting mechanics as far as picking up cars and throwing them, things like this. Like you see is this boss fight going on right here. You've got to chuck the cars up into his grill, get him to bend down, and smack him with your sword. Now, there is a combo system that you can rack up some points. Later in the game, you'll actually start collecting souls, and that's where your abilities, your finishing moves, which are basically just a hit B quick time event when somebody's really, really low on health. Those are what's going to net you more and more souls as you're able to gather them later. Because, as we said, War gets accused of starting this whole thing, and he does get sent back to Earth to try and find the Destroyer, the person who did actually start the War for all kingdoms. Oh, right in the eye! Yes! Very graphic, not one for the kiddies. So, as War comes back to Earth, he's significantly weaker, and he gets a little guardian guy that's going to keep an eye on him, and the ability to collect souls, which comes in handy because you're going to meet a demon named Vulgrim right here, who wants souls in exchange for upgrades to your equipment, upgrades to your abilities, and general information. He's a soul-eating demon that the council has decided, you know what, we need to kind of strike a deal with him and have him help us with information on where the Destroyer is. So, as you can see right now, I'm getting my first little item. It's a war horn, which will allow me to get access to the first little mini dungeon that will lead us to the Destroyer's 4 guardians, and we're going to have to collect their hearts and everything. Boss battles are very, very cool. You are going to find the Zelda-esque type gameplay when you get to the little dungeons. Traversing some areas becomes a lot easier as you progress in the game because you do pick up little items like in Zelda. You get the hook shot, and now you have access to an area you previously didn't have access to. Well, Darksiders works the exact same way. You'll pick up the ability to glide off of your double jump, and you'll have to get the ability to use jets of air to shoot your gliding higher up into the air and glide to previously unreachable areas. So this is kind of one of the first mini bosses in the game who does summon some ads, and now you can see that I'm gathering souls. Basically, souls come in the form of green health, yellow, which is what triggers your ability to use your special talents or abilities, and then of course blue, which is just the soul count you're going to end up giving to Vulgrim in exchange for upgrades and things. Little dodge mechanic there. Get him, and a couple more. Hit him a few more times. Get that bee to pop up above his head. Now, you do see above my life bar there are skulls, in this case just one right now. When you start the game, you're pretty badass. You have like 5 or 6 of them. You can turn into chaos form. But of course, that shit gets taken away because it's a game. Basically, think of it as extending your life bar without actually having to extend your life bar across the screen. Just think of them as lives. If your life bar depletes to 0, you will lose the skull. Your character doesn't die. It's still on the screen like you can see right there. So, about 5 minutes, what do I think? A little puzzle solving here to wrap this up. I enjoyed Darksiders. I actually want to play the sequel too now. It's been sitting on my computer for ages. So I'm going to have to give this one... I want to play it, but not right now. Maybe some other time. I think it's one that I'll bounce in and out of. Again, like, subscribe, comment. Stay safe, gang. This is Magicman saying we'll see you on the servers.